complete to Henry. Ole Miss knocks it away. Incomplete. No correction. It's on lateral. Arkansas keeps it going. Collins is going to take it inside the 15, and he has the first down on the lateral. Henry makes the catch, tosses it back. Collins is down.
Well. So that was not a technical difficulty, guys. That is the 8th anniversary of the so-called Hunter Heave.
Ooh,
It's
Matt's
it's
taking
crazy
it.
yeah, it's crazy to think it's been that long since that play happened.
Nothing?
And go ahead.
Nothing? You going to look at
All
your
right.
screen?
Oh yeah, I'm coming with it. Yeah. So before we get started, let's address it often and early. Matt is back. Welcome back, Matt.
Thanks. Can I take this crap off?
Oh yeah. See, and people who don't know the inside joke, if you listen last week, I would tell you, Adam gave Matt COVID-like symptoms via the internet. So that's the inside joke about why Matt had on the damn mask. But if you know, you know. If you stay watching every week, you know what we're talking about. All right, so tonight. All right, so it's Tuesday, right? We got a lot to recap tonight. A lot of interesting news. Let me jump into something real quick before we jump into that. So I dropped some videos within the group. Couple of voiceovers, kind of breaking down some plays. Man, I looked at the views instantly. It just went up. And thank you guys for paying attention to those things and responding to those things. If you like more of that type of content, then please let me know. I'll be delighted to drop it. But it's definitely a pleasure of mine to do it because I just love the game of football and I love to break it down and watch film. So if you're interested in those things, let us know in the comments. Um, but we want to recap Florida. We want to dive into Auburn. And then we'll keep you waiting. So let's go ahead and dig into it. All right, so Florida. All right, so we're going to recap Florida. We talked about it briefly on Sunday. But just to rehash some things. One thing I like to say about the videos that I drop, you mean to tell me it's possible to say something positive and then give some criticism about the Razorbacks and still be a fan, not be considered a fair weather fan? It's a great thing, man. It's human nature, right? Some things we love, some things we dislike. I think at the end of the day, we're all passionate about the Hogs, and we just want them to be great. We want them to win. We want them to improve every week. Shout out to Kenny Guyton, man. I think we may have some with Kenny Guyton. Of course, it's a small sample size, one game, but the numbers, as you spoke about on Sunday, the numbers reflect a huge improvement. And as somebody said in the comments, the fact that he was able to get and Devin Manuel and Chambly on the field the same.
Yeah.
And Tykees Crawford. Like I think that was a good mix. Like I said, I don't understand why it took so long, but as somebody said in the post, and if you watching, just drop your name. They said because it's the loyalty to the players, and I definitely agree with that.
That's what the problem was a little bit last year, but I think you saw a change in the teams, especially the offensive side of the balls, want to. I think
Mm-hmm.
they had that more energy and everything as we told they were going to have. They're playing for coach. Everybody loves Guyton. Guyton's one of your best recruiters. And I think a lot of this program's future could be in his hands. And it could be the best case scenario if he does take off and continue what he's already set for us. But we can get into that a little later.
Yeah, I think that'll be interesting because if you remember when Enos came into the fold, the whole conversation about Walker White and being recruited by Arkansas, and them already going after the young man in Georgia as their quarterback. It makes me wonder. The offense coordinator is calling all the shots on who the quarterback will be per their system. So it makes me wonder what it would look like. I'm assuming that it will stay with somebody that's a dual threat quarterback going forward if Kenny Guy does sustain the job.
Yeah, I would think so. Something pretty much along those lines. You might find slightly less mobile,
Hmm.
but you're going to get pretty much the same average type of quarterback. I'm not saying they are average, but the same type.
Right. What you got, Adam?
I mean, we touched on a lot of it. Well, I guess we touched on it Sunday, but I mean, there's a lot of positives. Obviously, you have to take everything game by game. There's going to be questions over the next 3 games and at the end of the season how that's going to affect the next year on what's going to happen with the coaching staff. But with everything right now, it's positive. I think you're going to still have Guyton recruiting like he has been. So it's just a matter of keeping what relationships you can with these groups, in the time of somewhat uncertainty. I think that's going to be a big key, is because you're going to have players that are looking at Arkansas or committed to Arkansas that they're going to be sitting and wondering what's next, who's going to be there, who's not going to be there.
Yeah.
So I think continuity really helps in that aspect of keeping the players that have already committed, or going to snag players that are on the fence elsewhere.
Yeah.
And there could be players that, we're watching that, maybe didn't commit or committed somewhere else because maybe they didn't like Enos' system. So there could also be some changes between, say, now and early signing period in December. I think it's December. But
that's early,
yeah. So there could be some things that change between now and then on the aspect of who's gonna potentially be at Arkansas.
Yeah, I'm excited about the possibility. At the end of the day, like I said, we talked about the clip where we seen Guyton and KJ hugging it out. I mean, the level of passion that was shown in there, the fact that he went in the locker room with his shirt on, celebrating with the team, that's huge. That's a huge momentum shift going back to Fayetteville, and it makes me wonder. I think the Hall of Faithful is ready. I think they're ready. I think attendance should be very much so up. You got a great opponent coming to Fayetteville to face the Hogs in Auburn. So, and we know that Hugh Freeze put together a good team, regardless of what their record looks like as well. But like I've realized, a lot of places, like I said, going to a couple games, people kind of like the Hogs. They just realize that we're not a big threat to a lot of people, but they love our style of play. And there was a lot of people in the stands talking about how KJ is a grown man and how they defense couldn't stop him from running downhill on them. So a lot of times I think we take things for granted, but I think a lot of people are giving us a lot of credit on the other side, and looking at what kind of program we have, even though we don't feel like it's the level that it should be compared to basketball for the most part.
Yeah, I think it was a big thing Saturday, kind of seeing that 50-50 when it came to run pass, like in the yardage and the production and whatnot. Because really, it's, they were both working for us, so you really didn't know where it was going to come from,
right?
Which helps because, it was one of those that they weren't necessarily shutting down the run, and then KJ was still able to make some throws. So that's something going into, you can plan, which, now they've only got one. I mean, Auburn's going to have one, game film. So, but it's a matter of still being able to have that balance, I think, to throw them off or to keep them uneasy.
Absolutely. I don't think we can be able to sit still, um, and just be stagnant. I really feel like the tempo, the pace of the game really played a big factor into it. I think if anything else, you think about when you're running as opposed to walking. I mean, your adrenaline gets to pumping when you're running. So doing a up-tempo offense definitely keeps the adrenaline running and keeping the guys powered up to make big plays and to be impactful. So I definitely saw that. And they did a good job of time management this week with timeouts, and substituting guys in to keep them fresh. So I definitely enjoyed watching that part of it. And shout out to the secondary. I ain't gonna say it, but I like the secondary. I know people get on me about my guy Hud Island, but at the end of the day, I like the fact that Nudie came back, was able to be impactful. I think we got a promising secondary. I'm a lot of times I look at our team and I look at what the future looks like. I will tell you, standing close enough to see these guys, it's some dudes on that team. It's some huge dudes on that team. Jafar, man, that dude is huge, huge. Who else did I get a chance to see? We talked about the punter. We talked about Nico Davier. Huge. Didn't know he was that big. So it's a lot of guys that I've seen. I was like, okay, on the defensive side and on the offensive line, some young guys and some DBs really fit the mold. The type of guys that you say you walk off the bus with. to show the intimidation factor. So I definitely like the size we got and some of the younger players that got an opportunity to play, especially Braxton.
Yeah, I've got your video whenever you want me to hit play of the game-winning touchdown.
All right, so check this. So we talked earlier about doing some recapping. When I did the first video, somebody went in the comments said, "Hey, can you do one of the final touchdown?" I don't know if they're being sarcastic or not, but guess what? I did it. Like to see it? Here it goes. Somebody said, "Can you break down the final touchdown play?" Well, don't mind if I do. Snap it, mesh, sit your feet, KJ, pat, pat, throw it in the window, low where only your receiver can catch it. Touchdown. Great team effort. Great blocking all the way around. No loft in the ball with some zip on it. Wave bye to the fans, bro. Why? Game over. Hogs win. All right. So I don't know if you watching. Tell me, did you hear the commentary?
I did.
You heard it.
Yeah.
I did a good job. I did pretty good. Awesome. Appreciate that, man.
I mean, you want me to start critiquing it before you?
You're awesome, man.
When you send it to us, and be like, "Hey, could you go redo seconds 8 through 9?"
Hey, that's what happened when we in the group message and back be like, "Hey, can you fix this? Hey, what about this?"
Well,
so,
like the video, the last video you posted in the group before, or one of the last videos of, I think it was it Kudus getting smacked.
Yeah.
Bent over. I sent you the video back saying, "Hey, here's the horizontal," and you still posted the vertical one, and I was just like,
"Hey, it's the authenticity when you're editing, sir. You know about the editing." So anyway, but in that particular play, the touchdown play. So the great thing about that, I think the biggest thing about that play, and I've judged a lot of things, was the fact that he got rid of the ball fast. He had some zip on the ball. It wasn't floating. Didn't have a lot of air up under it. Like I said, he did the read, did the motion read. He already was looking with his head up. That's automatic do the read, looking up at your receiver, your target. And as soon as that man cleared, he set his feet and he popped it. He set his feet and popped it to the receiver in the window. And if people don't know what I'm saying this to people who don't know football. I know a lot of people like, duh, I played football in 7th grade. Yeah, but some people don't know. So in the window just basically means in between two defenders. So he threw it in the window, and threw it low to where only Broden could make contact with the ball and receive it. And that was a great. I would give Broden credit for. I wouldn't. I want to say making up for the end zone, but that was on KJ. He overthrew him. So at the end of the day, it was the biggest play of the game. At the end of the day, because it decided victory for the Hogs. And the fact that we got a chance to win in Gainesville, that's huge. 4 out of 5, all being in Gainesville. It meant a lot to get that victory in Gainesville, and it started some momentum. So hopefully we can continue that going into the Auburn game. Want to jump into the Auburn game?
If you want to.
Go for it.
All right. So Auburn, I look at it. Auburn always is going to give you a fight, no matter what their record is. They're always well coached and well prepared. I do see the mojo with our team. It was interesting to me to see the offense start clicking and then the defense kind of regress almost. That was kind of weird to me. But I think they'll get that fixed. I think they'll love being back at home. It's been so long since you've been at home. So I think the fans are going to cheer them on, and the fans are definitely going to be a factor in determining what the game looks like. I look forward to us corralling the quarterback. I'm looking for Landon Jackson to make a comeback this week. I want to see Landon Jackson. I want to see Tree. I want to see TC. I want to see those guys get some pressure on this guy and make some moves. I want to see Pooh Paul be able to be freed up, because linebackers were really freed up this last game, but able to be free and make plays across the field. And hopefully they'll get enough pressure where they'll cause some havoc, and our secondary is easy to react to it and make some turnovers.
Yeah, I was looking at the comparisons, just season stats, and they're pretty even when it comes to total offense, total defense. One thing that stuck out to me was, we've been on the plus side for the majority of the games when it came to turnovers, turnover differential. And Auburn's actually ranked a little bit ahead of us in the turnover differential, so I think that's going to be a big key and a big factor Saturday. What are you laughing at?
I'm in the comments. Go ahead, sir.
No. But yeah, I think we say that about a lot of games, like turnovers being key, but field position, getting Max Fletcher to be able to pin them deep on punt, flip the field with punts, and just taking things like that. Their defense is, we're pretty close. They're giving up 300 or no, they're running 300. They have 355 yards of total offense a game. We've only had 325, but we saw what Guyton did, with the 485 against Florida. So we hope that doesn't, the 325 doesn't come into effect. And that's a hard thing looking at a lot of those stats too, is we're having to look at Enos' stats versus the one game under Guyton.
Yeah, I feel like the stats are skewed, so it's kind of hard to make a judgment on that. Go ahead, Matt.
Yeah, as far as the stats, you can almost throw them out the window because it's a different type of offense and a different, like I said, with the offense now. It's simpler, it's faster, as we all have seen, and going back to the one thing at the Florida, the pass to Broden, we have been trying to run slants. We've been talking about throwing it across the middle for the longest. And we finally do it. And we've been doing it. We've done it a couple of times this year, but we'd always miss high. Right. And I don't know. You go from missing high all year to hitting low and outside where you're supposed to in that situation. Maybe everything just started clicking. I don't know. But I just thought that was a nice change to see that. Going back to Auburn, though, I think their quarterback play is going to be key. What he can do is what's going to determine the outcome of the game. We've been much improved on defense this year. We've given up a couple plays, but that's what you're going to get sometimes when you take chances. But I'll take what we've gotten any day this year, especially. As far as Landon Jackson, he had that real big game against Alabama, and nobody really talked about that. It was against a freshman. That's something that people should maybe think about as well. I'm not trying to diminish him by any means. I hope the best for him and that he is, the first defensive end taken. But that could explain a little bit of why he had one game that was just out of this world, and then, a lot of the other games have kind of been back to earth. But I'm looking forward to a good game. I just hope it's not close enough to where the refs, get in play again, because Florida's always been one of those that, the refs have been involved. I remember one time I don't really remember bringing up was the fair catch that they muffed once, and we recovered it, and then the ref said that they had to they were not allowed the chance to recover their muffed punt first. And so they were awarded the ball. I'm just like, whatever. But we all know the Auburn with the fumble that was the
fumble that wasn't a fumble by Bo Nix?
Yeah, that wasn't a fumble. Yeah,
Bo Nix,
all the others.
In his 12th year in collegiate football.
This motherfucker still playing.
With his 18th team.
Yeah.
Hell yeah. Hey, question. With Auburn, is there any chance that we may see two quarterbacks?
With us? No.
No. Not with us. For Auburn.
Possibly. Depends on how bad it gets. But yeah, there's a chance. You're going to see what he gives you, and if it gets bad enough, I can see him going to the backup.
I can see something like a Texas A&M situation. Not Texas A&M this year, but the year before. Like, you beat up one guy, you get some pressure on him, all of a sudden you say I put in the other guy, and all of a sudden you realize we didn't even scheme for this guy. So hopefully we can stick to one guy and go ahead and minimize his success and try to make sure that our defense gets turnovers, get pressures, and our offense is effective as it was this previous week. When it comes to that, let's go Auburn, but let's go further down the road. This is a potential to see Larry the bowling ball, right? It's a potential to see Larry, right? So it has to start somewhere. It started with Florida. The question is, do we continue? Because let's be clear. If you don't think about it now, I'll bring it to your attention. If you lose against Auburn, Now everybody wants to blow everything up because now you say, well, we don't have a chance to go bowling. So what do? What changes do we make? Who stays? Who goes? And recruiting. Does it affect recruiting if we lose? So with that being said, we have to be optimistic and look at both sides. Of course, we hope they win. At the same time, this is an opportunity to try to go bowling and try to continue some momentum. We got Auburn, then we got what, FIU next?
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Yeah.
And they made
So
that game a night game. So
Wow. SEC Network, I'm assuming.
yeah, I think so.
that shit it's gonna be on Jefferson Pilot at night.
Yeah, you'd have a lot. You'd have a lot of
Dave Neal.
the old folks appreciative of that.
Absolutely, absolutely.
Yeah.
So what time is kickoff for the Auburn game?
3.
3:30? 3:30? Yeah, I think that'd be a good thing. I think what weather in Northwest Arkansas should be decent.
No, FIU's ESPNU.
Mm.
Oh,
This
okay.
this weekend is SEC Network. FIU is on the ESPNU, and then the Missouri game will be, I guess, our last game on CBS.
CBS at 3:00.
Oh Lord. And speaking of Missouri game, right? So Missouri has been doing well. Got to give him credit. I still don't like Drinkwater. He's an extra from Revenge of the Nerds. I just call him Drinkwater. I know his name is Drinkwitz, but I call him Drinkwater. He's just a pompous, arrogant asshole type dude. But I got to give him credit in regards to the win-loss column. He's definitely built their program. He's getting some of the best guys from Kansas City, St. Louis, guys from Missouri, from the borderline, and even getting guys in Arkansas. And we can get into that later on. But at the same time, I like what those guys are doing. I got to give them credit for doing that. And they gave Georgia a hell of a run for their money when they played Georgia. So Missouri got a nice little team, man. I feel like if we win out, up until Missouri, it's all on the line. It's guts and glory. Like you gotta bring it for the Missouri game in order to get that bowl victory. So I think if it all lines up, the Missouri game could be great. And I got offered the opportunity to go to the Missouri game because apparently, as Adam like to say, everybody can be VIP with the seats. But but I actually got a call and say, hey man, every time you go to the game, they play well. You interested in going to the Missouri game? And I'm looking like, man, that's Thanksgiving, bro. You know, I got to eat good. I might be at the house. So I don't know. I got an opportunity to go to the Missouri game. We'll see what happens. At the same time, it all depends on how it plays out going forward. But I think that's going to be a great game, even though I know that's the time of year where the students are gone. So the student section isn't as packed out. And the crowd is a little different for that game. I still think it should be played at Arrowhead. But we also had a conversation about neutral site games and how it affects recruiting. So with that being said, I guess the home and home is the best option when it comes to that.
Yeah, I look at it like the last, like last year, Missouri beat us to get bowl eligible. So it's kind of, we didn't expect that to be the scenario for us this season. But
Right.
I mean, take it game by game, obviously. But if that's the case, come Missouri time, then leave it all out there on the field so you can get bowl eligible.
Absolutely. Absolutely. A lot of guys going to be playing for draft stock because every year Missouri gets somebody drafted. Every year. I don't know these guys until they get drafted. I'm like, damn, Missouri got that many players that was that good? So whatever it is, I think it'll be a lot of NFL scouts watching for that game, see if Landon Jackson continues on his trajectory, to see if Nudie comes back full strength and actually shows some promise to say he may enter his name into the draft. And of course, KJ. So we'll see how that works out, man. But I think it'll be a good little time going into the Missouri game. I just hope these guys keep stringing together wins and build a momentum to get to a bowl game.
Do we have any news on Armstrong for this weekend?
He'll be playing.
Okay.
He'll be back.
Yeah.
I'm told. He'll be back. Washington, basically same type of injury as Luke has. And then, that's about the base of all that on the injury front.
Hog news. So we just dropped it on you. Look, but it was interesting to see. I was in the end zone where Armstrong actually caught and dropped the ball and it kind of froze up, had like a concussion. You could see he landed hard and hit his head on the field and instantly froze up, kind of like I said, what we've seen Tua with the Dolphins. So it was a scary moment at the time. To be in the stands close to his family and friends, that was interesting. and to hear some of the parents of the players, react and respond to that. But like I said in on Sunday's episode, he came back out, they took his helmet, I text you guys, hey, he's done for the day. But he gave a thumbs up sign to his family. So that's a good sign to know that he'll be back and be playing this week. We played a game yesterday.
Are we going into that? Or are we going into a recruit?
Let me go into recruiting before we go into basketball, if you don't mind.
Oh, somebody said they was on here for the Crutchfield information, but go ahead.
So let's build it like this. Let's paint a picture. You have to imagine there's going to be a lot of uncertainty with the coaching uncertainty with the offensive side of the ball. So that's going to make kids a little nervous, or it's going to make them question things. I think our best case scenario for the football program is they've already done a good thing by winning Florida. They've bought themselves time, but if they continue to win and continue to show good offense, progression, and evolving, I think keeping Guyton as OC is our best case scenario. He's one of our best recruiters. The kids love him. We've been saying it. You've seen video proof of it. It's our best case scenario. He's building his resume to be an offensive coordinator right now on our payroll. So I don't envision him stepping back into the wide receiver coaching role. I could be wrong, but I envision this as either he's going to be the Hogs offensive coordinator next year, or he's going to go find an offensive coordinator job somewhere, whether it be lower or maybe even somewhat of an equal position. I don't know. We'll see. But that's just the way I kind of see this going down. So with that being said, if Guyton is our coordinator going forward, I think we can salvage our recruiting. I think Courtney Crutchfield, let's just go jump into that part of it. He's 17, and he didn't really know what the recruiting process was about. He loves the Hogs, and he loves Coach Guyton. And so the uncertainty with the coaching situation is a factor, and people will be just naive to not think so. But I think more so it's, from what I'm hearing, there's Missouri creeping in, and they're wanting him more. They're showing more love to him. There's rumors that it's an NIL thing. It's not true. Arkansas's got a competitive NIL, so anytime you hear that, you can pretty much toss it out. Not saying it's going to apply to every situation, but most of them, it's not going to be true. We're comparable. He just wants to go take visits, and he didn't want to do it while committed to Arkansas. He thought that would be a bad look, and I agree. So he decommitted. Now, the timing was probably poor right before a game. Regardless of your intentions, it didn't look the best right before a game. But nonetheless, he wants to take his visits. And if I were in his situation, I would too. I would want to go to, I'm just going to throw out names, let's say Missouri or Alabama or whoever, and let them just woo you and just throw everything out and just grovel to you and pitch the best things like, the pros get when they go, free agency. It's basically what it is. And so I can't blame a 17, 18-year-old kid for wanting to experience that and just see what's out there. Even though you love Coach Guyton and you love the Hogs, but we'll see. So that's pretty much what I'm hearing on the Crutchfield aspect. Yeah, Missouri is a big player. I've heard Ole Miss before, but Missouri's kind of the main one right now because they are showing and proving they want him. And so Arkansas needs to do that if they want to. I have heard the Arkansas side of it, if you will. And it was a little upsetting with the timing of it. And some have said maybe a little harsher wording towards it from what I've heard. But if Arkansas wants Crutchfield, they're going to have to really show it. But they do have a backup option as well. So never fear. When you're looking at it, just think of it recruiting just like a draft board. You got 1A. Then if that don't work, you got 1B. If that don't work, if A and B don't work, you go to C. You got a backup plan for these situations. That's why you give out 8,000, offers, and then you only have a certain amount of commitments.
So a couple questions in regards to the Crutchfield situation and recruiting in general. Just some of the things that I've seen on the page and some things that I have. So first of all, you are a Pine Bluff alum. That's your alma mater, right?
Absolutely.
Right.
Yes, sir.
So you have the post, plus you got insider information within the Hall program now. That's why you're able to get quality information, and we appreciate that. The other side of it is Crutchfield, his cousin, attached to it. Is there any possibility they may follow each other, or he may sit back and want to take visits as well?
They could, but I think it's more of just what's best for each person. I haven't really heard of them as a package deal like basketball Bayfall and Hassan Diop were kind of a package deal at one point. But I don't think this is that situation. Gotcha.
Other side of that, I wanted to ask, so Cody Crutchfield, we still got CJ Brown from Bentonville as a receiver. I think we got an athlete from Georgia that said he's going to play running back. Potentially could play receiver as well. So with them having a backup plan, I like that. I think it also shows that Arkansas, they're going to show love and they're still going to recruit him hard. At the same time, you can't spend all this energy on one person and just fall back on that and say it's the only thing we got. You got to keep rolling. Like I said, the young man's going to make a decision, and it's his choice to make that decision. I think as fans, and one thing Adam didn't want to jump on it, but I'll throw it out there. Y'all can't keep bashing these damn kids every time they decommit, dude. You got to think about how many kids we got that came from the portal, that came from somewhere else. Their fan base bashed them for leaving. Oh, he's a traitor. He's trash. He wasn't going to play anyway. You do this stuff, and these parents see this stuff on these boards and on social media. I got a chance to sit next to Singleton mom, and she kind of disclosed some information about some things that she hears and sees. I remember, like I said, seeing Ty Washington's dad and Pooh Paul's dad, and just be able to get in those conversations and hear these guys talk about how they feel as parents with their son potentially going to a team or on the field or part of the program, and how hearing all these rumblings on the outside on social media. Like, you got to chill. I understand we got some Rabbit fans who are really passionate about it, but at the same time, man, if that was your child trying to make a decision and they want to have the freedom to go wherever they feel the most needed and wanted, as a parent, you're going to support that. So as a fan, you can't just bash these damn kids because they don't do what you think they should do. Hell, let's be clear. Your kids don't do what the hell you think they're supposed to do. They do what they want to do. And as a parent, you make the right decision and you try to support your child. So let's just try to be easy when it comes to those things, because it's a situation where, let's just say he does make those moves. He does go on these visits, and he decides. Hell, great example, Isaiah Satania. Then he was at Oregon at one point. Then he committed to Texas A&M at one point, and everybody trashed him. And he still came to Arkansas, and then they was all on his nuts. You got to stop this, dude. Like, you don't know. Like, it's a kid. When you were 17, 18, you didn't know what the hell you was going to do next either. You just living off the seat of your pants. So I'm like, let these kids make decisions and just have faith in the program and the coaches that's on the staff. They're going to make the best choices to get the best players in the program. And if not, we know that the portal is the maximum equalizer at the end of the day. So hopefully they make some good choices. They continue to recruit this young man and other players hard. And like I said, if not, you go into the portal and you get the best option that can help your team that fits your scheme. at the end of the day.
The portal is the way of is basically what people should expect for us to get a bulk of our recruiting on most fronts and on most sports. You're going to try to get the best high schoolers you can, but it's proven, and people are going to that mindset of you're going and trying to get the junior, senior guy that's experienced. He's got more of an adult body, and basically, if you're going to pick between a 23-year-old and an 18-year-old to play, what are you going to pick?
Right.
The 18-year-old better bring something with him, special,
Absolutely.
or he's going to get manhandled.
Absolutely. Shout out to Braxton again. That man, he is a grown young man. Adam, what you got to say?
Oh, I'm good. I mean, it's one of those things that, like, when it comes to the recruits, I don't get like really too heavily involved. Like, I'll make the posts on so and so has committed, but and then I'll post like their 24/7 page just so people can see like who they are, where they're from, their star rating, and then I might throw in their offers list just so people don't have to go dig for it. But at the same time, I look at it like there's a lot of time between when these players commit, when they sign, and then when they get to the field. So it makes it a little bit more real when they sign their letters of intent, and then obviously when they get to campus. So it's kind of, I don't deep dive into these players and their choices before they get here, just because who knows if they're even going to make it to Fayetteville.
Yeah. That's interesting because we're on the same screen, but I'm the opposite. I'm the guy that actually does research on the recruits. And even if they decide to go elsewhere or to go outside the state, like I'm going to throw this out there, Jaden Dupree from Auburn, the running back. The fact that he doesn't have an offer from Arkansas, it puzzles me. I go back to Pierre Strong from Little Rock McClellan, who ended up going to South Dakota State. And then he's in the NFL. So it's one of those situations. Like, I always ask myself back in the day, should we have recruited D'Angelo Williams? We went and got De'Arius Howard, right? And we already had Cedric Cobbs. I'm like, should we have went after Cedric Houston as opposed to going to Tennessee? Like, it's always the what if factors, right?
Willie
so
Roaf.
I'm one of those. Willie Roaf. That's a legend, right? So it's a lot of players like that to where I just tend to keep up with the players regardless if they commit or not, and I kind of follow them throughout their career to see if they pan out. But Adam, I bet you won't jump into this basketball game against Alcorn State.
Well, first off, I got a little. So I didn't know if you had a sponsor you wanted to.
I'm glad you asked, my friend. Tonight's sponsor. It's an adult beverage. This is the Basil Hayden. Hey, it's a great beverage. Something light. You know what I'm saying? Something light. Not only that, that's for the adults. Yeah, we got a Coke product, Body Armor. See, this way you can get twisted and you can stay hydrated. Body Armor. It's a Coke product. Please buy. Keep your boy employed. Hey, matter of fact, do me a favor, guys. If you feel like I know I play with this, but at some point this is gonna blow up. And y'all gonna say, well, he was acting the fool. Man, tag somebody, tag Coca-Cola, Body Armor. Somebody tag Basil Hayden in the comments. Somebody tag it. Drop the tag. You never know. Somebody could be watching. You just never know. It's all about making connections at the end of the day. What you got, Adam?
Well, no, just speaking of Body Armor, fun fact. So when they were getting up and going early on, let's see what it was. Kobe Bryant actually acquired about 6% of Body Armor for about $5 to $6 million. After his passing, his wife sold that stake that he bought for $5 to $6 million. It went for upwards of $450 million. That's that little bit of stake that he bought.
So, with that being said, don't hate.
Hydrate. Yeah,
yes, sir. Hydrate.
Here's another sponsor that DP would like also. There you go. I knew it.
Yeah. No games being played, my friend. No games being played. This is my second box. Hey man, I'm fucking these up. Let me tell you something, man. And you keep saying they trash, man. It's the most wonderful time of the. He's the best damn little Debbie cakes, brother. You're a hater, bro. You're
No,
a
I'm
hater.
not. All right, so segue from football to basketball.
Uh-huh.
Yes, first game of the regular season, we saw Arkansas beat Alcorn State last night by, what was the final score? 30 points.
Uh-huh.
93, 50,
93-59.
59, yeah.
So, yeah, 93-59. Arkansas shot 52%, 40% from three, which their three-point percentage was right at 50 for a good while till towards the end. They started, jacking some threes here and there. So, free throws still need to be worked on, which I feel like is a common theme every year for Arkansas. Well, some years better than others, but they shot 68% last night. Turnovers were still a little wild at 14, which I know Muss talked about last night. Alcorn State switched up their, with the full court press in the second half, and we got a little sloppy here and there. So that's something that, he's at least addressed. They were a smaller team. We out-rebounded them by 17, which is, what you expect when you're playing, a lower-level team. So 10 steals, 4 blocks. The fouls were – what were the fouls at? We had 22 fouls. They had 27. So there's some things to work on. I saw some people commenting, we're seeing more of a rotation. I guess, that Muss does this every season.
Don't get caught in the web. Don't get caught in the web, man. He does it every time.
He's going to do this on these games like this to work guys in that aren't getting maybe much time, to see where they are. Whatever the case may be, Jalen Graham came back from his back issues and got quite a bit of time. We didn't see Mekhi Mitchell much last night. And I think with that, it's one of those, there's other people that have things to kind of prove. So Mekhi Mitchell's spot is solidified. There's no changing that. So, that Graham getting in there, and we saw Bayfall a little bit. Personally, I mean, I still think Bayfall's got to figure things out, and he will figure things out. So there, especially with this non-conference, I think you'll see quite a bit of him just trying to, figure things, see how they're going to go. Layden Blocker has been a pleasant early surprise. I mean, getting in at the first rotation, the first 5-6 minutes of the game. As a freshman, you just see his intensity and his smarts on the court. I mean, I don't know if we have a quicker defender on the court. He got a little carried away dribbling into double teamed and presses when he had the ball coming up, but he's going to learn from those things like that. Muss is going to address it with them. So just the impact that he's going to be able to make, I think, is going to surprise a lot of people.
Yeah, I looked at the scoring. Khalif Battle led all scores. The plus minus got to be off the charts. The man played 19 minutes, had 21 damn points. Like that's major. That just means that you took advantage of every opportunity while you was in the game. Then you had Tremont Mark had 21 minutes with 16 points. Then of course you had Brazil had 22 minutes with 13 points. So that was your big three for the night. I'm gonna tell you one thing that I enjoyed. Ellis didn't have a big night. He had 8 points. Playing 23 minutes, he had 8 points and 4 assists. I like the fact that Devo came in there and didn't have one turnover. That was nice to see. It shows the veteran leadership by Devo. It shows that Muss trusts him to take over things. So I definitely like seeing that. I definitely like seeing Block in the game as a young guy, being able to get reps early. But as my guy Harold Harris will say, I'm not getting caught in the web. Muss is going to go into these 9-guy rotations. He's only going to play damn 7. Okay, 7, maybe 8, depending on the situation. And I think a small critique that I have, and as you said, things to be improved on and worked on. But we've seen them rebound against a taller team in Purdue. We've seen them rebound against a smaller team in Alcorn State. I still like the way that we spread the floor and pass the ball. I like that. I like our ability. And you realize your boy had 13 minutes with 7 points. Joseph Pinion. Yeah, it's you just got to pay attention. We like Pinion.
Yeah. When I critique him, it's not that I'm trying to dog him by any means. I'm just giving reasons on why we don't see him necessarily in the court, because he's been in the past a defensive liability.
Correct.
Which I know he had a little bit more intensity last night towards the end, because I know especially Manny Watkins was all over at one point. The Alcorn State had the ball at the top, and Pinion basically went like head to head, like four heads touching with the guy with the ball, and they were all about that. But at the same time, I mean,
whoa. Did you say four heads touching?
The four heads were touching.
Pause. If you don't know what pause means, ask somebody younger. Pause. All right, real quick. I'm going to tell you who I did like. I'm going to tell you who showed up on my radar last night. Harris showed up. He only played 12 minutes. But the man had 7 rebounds, 2 assists, and 5 points. That ain't bad. That just means he's active in the time frame in which he's in there, and he can be a difference maker when he does get in the game. He's probably a guy who could come off the bench and make some plays. I was interested to look at Chandler Lawson. He only played 8 minutes with 2 points. I don't know what Muss going with there, but he knows what he's doing. People talk about our length and our ability to defend. The 3-pointers. I'm still leery of the 3-pointers. I think about the last 2 years in the tournament with 3-pointers and the ability to be effective at 3-point line. I think defensively we got what it takes to take it all away. And didn't the guy last name Fana predict us to win it all? Some journalist.
There's somebody, I think, with like CBS Sports that came out today and has us picked to win.
Yeah. That's
New York Post has us to go to the Final Four as well.
That's dope.
Just this comment popped up about, Shamar Nash is not on Arkansas's roster. I think you're talking about Shamar Easter.
The tight end?
Yeah, Shamar Easter is the freshman tight end that when Lucas went down, I mean, Pittman mentioned that Shamar Easter was going to be an effective player for Arkansas in the future, but he's not led any indications that he's going to play.
Yeah, I know the young man got to pick up some weight. I know he was a rather frail young man, like I said, coming out of Ashdown, but they say he's an athlete.
Yeah, but at the same time, go ahead. No, you go ahead.
They said he could basically step out wide if he needed to and play receiver. Like
the thing with when Has went down, like Pittman mentioned Shamar Easter. You mentioned another one that we haven't seen yet, and he had made no mention. Lassiter. Yeah, and he made no mention of Ty Washington really in that mix, and then we saw what happened. So, I mean, there's not been any indications, but we are in those last now 3 games that we might see a freshman here and there. We don't know though.
Hey, if we lose, we're going to see.
We're going to see them. Yes, exactly.
Right. Shout out. I'm going to these comments real quick. So shout out. Somebody just dropped Coca-Cola in there. Somebody said, Little Debbie, the Christmas tree cakes are the best Little Debbie cakes. If you know, you know. We can't worry about Adam and his hatred for the Christmas tree cakes. You know? Blasphemy. Blasphemy is what that is.
The zebra cakes are really the best.
Thank you, sir. This dude over here eats Star Crunch, so you can't talk to him about nothing like that. All right. In the comments, Block is my new favorite player on this team. Love his energy and his play, absolutely. Like I said, he's great as a defender. Brings great energy as a young player. I love seeing it. Blocker, while being talented, also show a little attitude problem. Eric grabbed him on timeout and pretty much was a different player for the rest of the second. Sometimes you got to snatch a young dude up. Tell him, hey, man, you're not bigger than the program. So maybe that situation that happened, but hopefully he adhered to Muss' conversation and act accordingly going forward. Mitchell only played 3 minutes, as he should.
Mean, you know what you get with him. The one thing I thought last night watching Bayfall play, he reminded me of Kamani Johnson. He was just running around fouling people.
Hey, you need a goon on the team. You need a goon on the team, man. Somebody got to get in there.
Hey, you know what? Kamani shout-outs getting to play in Indonesia Maybe not where he
Right.
wanted to play, but at the same time, I know I posted that he had signed with the Indonesian Basketball League, and somebody, I don't remember who, so I'm not going to get to bust anybody out, but somebody, did a laugh react to it, and I'm kind of like, this man is still getting to play ball professionally. He's getting to do what he wants to do. So there ain't no point in sitting here and laughing or hating on it, because he's the one that's getting to, like I said, do what he wants to do. Whereas a lot of us, we don't get that choice in life.
Right.
So
Getting paid to get in shape and play a sport that you love. I mean, hell, I think 99% of people would do that, and the 1% are just lying.
Yeah.
Hey, it was one dude in the comments talked about football. He was like, I'm going to drive 16 hours, I'm going to drink some whiskey, and I can whoop these linemen's ass, and I'm going to show that. I was like, are you drunk now? Don't press send. Don't press send. Please don't.
If anybody could take some advice, is when you go to type something, especially during a game, post-game, type it out, close out of your app, don't hit send, just wait a couple minutes. Open it back up, read it to yourself, and then say, do I really need to hit send on this? Because a lot of people knee-jerk reactions.
Okay, it's an emotional response. Let me throw some on top of that. When there's a game, and there's a game thread in the group, the notifications are off. So as moderators and as admin, we see the shit. We can't approve it because it's supposed to go in the game thread, asshole. Stop making these random posts, bro. Dude, I'm upset. I'm going to say something right now. We see it. We just decline it. Like, we can't approve it. It should just go into the game thread. And everybody's in one spot. We can all react and respond to each other right there.
Yeah,
you can get your
let's all
response
talk together in one.
Yeah. You can get the response you're looking for, whether it's positive or negative. But just go into the game thread and say what you got to say, and people can react to it. Go ahead.
Before the end of our show, we'll touch on something else. We're going to play a little game, if you will. Not really a game, but we've seen the past couple of basketball games that so and so looks like so and so. But the way that things are worded and the things that are said, it kind of makes it out to be like every person of an ethnicity looks like every other person of an ethnicity. And so we're just going to, put some pictures up of some side-by-sides. And do you want me to tell you who it is first, DP, or do you just want to go for it?
Let him guess.
Yeah, put the picture up first. Matter of fact, if you're watching right now, drop some comments. We need you. This is the time where you guys react. So if you're watching right now, he's going to put up some pictures. It's going to be a side-by-side, and you're going to drop who you think that is in the picture.
Well, first off, I'm going to get Terrell Reed in here, make sure he's watching.
Gotcha. Shout out to Terrell Reed, man. Shout out to Terrell Reed. He dropped some stuff. He keeps some shit going, and it's okay.
He does.
Yeah, but because at the same time it's respectful. It's all love, but it's definitely debate and banter. Like I said, we love it within the group, and anybody can be respectful to each other and have different opinions. But he dropped some information I like to see sometimes. So I appreciate him.
He'll get in here. He'll watch it later. I know he's watching the girls' game right now. Which, speaking of, I'll go ahead and.
Y'all see Colorado beat LSU last night?
Halftime. Arkansas is losing by 1 point to Louisiana Monroe.
Fire Coach Neighbors. Don't wait. Fire his ass now.
32-31. So, all right. Now
go ahead.
All right, you ready?
We need to play. We need to have some game show music. But go ahead. Once again, if you're watching, go ahead and drop the comments of who you see on the screen. Go ahead, Adam. Doom 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 doom. Who is this on the screen?
All right. You sure? You don't want to guess? All right. So right here we've got Jeremiah Davenport and Jalen Williams.
Oh yeah, I know. I know. So look, Davenport is on the left with the shorter hair with the color in it, and Jalen Williams.
John Legend.
I know, right? And to the right is Jalen Williams, who's now with the Oklahoma City Thunder. Okay, I'm gonna say this as respectful as I can. Per this is what I like to call cultural differences, right? So, hey, I understand if you're not around people who don't look like you. If your friend group is people who look like you and that's the only people you talk to. And the only people that you talk to that look different than you is at work and you be like, I have friends of other ethnic groups. You don't. Okay? These are two different men. They do not look alike. And once again, it's nobody in the group saying this. I seen this on Twitter and I'm just looking like we got to stop this. Like it's considered disrespectful, right? And you're just being lazy and not taking the time to actually acknowledge people as they look as human beings. These are two different men. Who else you got next?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, on to number 2.
The comment on this one, and this one sparked it. Oh, we found Nick Smith doppelganger. I was like, and that's the voice that he said it in. It's a doppelganger, right? And I'm like, okay, so who do we have to the left?
All right, so on this one, we've got Chandler Lawson on the left, and we've got Nick Smith Jr. on the right.
That's not
Are
Kevin
you
Garnett.
sure?
You sure? I
I think it's the same guy.
looks like the same guy. So if you're watching, right, let me give you a scenario. It's not for everybody. These are the extremist people. These are the people who may be extreme, who just don't take the time to diagnose and look at things. If you gave a description of these two young men, or one or the other, you would say, hey, it's the black guy, and he has the hair with the little twist in it or something. It could be the same dude. It's a mistaken identity. People get hurt like this. You got to take the time, right? The one thing about having melanated skin is different tones. It's different tones, okay? So these are two different complexion guys. Yes, they're of the same culture, but we got to do a better job of just recognizing these are two different people. It's not a doppelganger situation, right? This is real life. So these are two different people: a college athlete and a pro athlete. Yes, I understand they have similar hairstyles. They are not the same person.
And
Next.
you don't and you don't have to feel uneasy about saying that he's light skinned, that he's black,
Yeah,
that he's. I mean, that you're explaining a description.
yeah. And that's the black dude in the
Mm-hmm.
group. I'll be the delegation. We approve that. It's okay. It's not wrong. It's not wrong, right? We're having cultural difference conversations here, guys. We
That's
can
all it
learn
is.
from each other. Absolutely. Go ahead.
All right. So next, we're gonna switch it up a little bit.
Mm.
Oh,
Wait
that's
a minute.
easy.
That's the dude from Step Brothers. Is it not? That's not the dude
No,
from Step.
gosh.
Is that Laurel and Hardy? Who is that? I
You
don't.
got you got Hudson Clark and Cade Fortin.
You don't even know who your favorite guy is.
I know who Hudson. He has beautiful hair. It's kind of like Justin Bieber. He just has great hair. Well, Justin Bieber used to have great hair. Hey, Hudson Clark, Hood Island is a stud, man. It's kind of like how you see a girl and be like, man, she's hot. Well, pause. I ain't saying that. Wait a minute. I'm going too far. What what I'm saying is the guy got nice hair. So that's Hood Island to the left, and this is the third string quarterback,
Cade
K4.
Fortin. Mm-hmm.
All right,
Mm-hmm.
two different guys. Now,
Yeah.
somebody who may not have these guys in my circle, I can say, yeah, the white guy with the dark hair. And it's the same dude. And it will be offensive to somebody. These are not the same young men. You can tell one has a little tan to him. One is a little more. Ready for the winter season. He may need to go hit the tanning bed. I don't know. What I'm saying is that these are two different type of young men, and they need to be described as two different type of young men, and not saying they're the same person because they look alike and their hairstyles are similar and they're the same shade. Go ahead.
All right.
Wait a minute. Okay, we got Joseph Pinion to the left, and we
Oh,
got my man Killer Cam to the right. Killer Cam is gonna be a damn All-American candidate this year. I'm gonna tell you that he's gonna be a finalist for the Lou Goss Award. He all that. Once again, two different young men. I'll just take the time to recognize that hey, if I look at the details in their face, Hey, and maybe that body stature. I know you're looking at the uniform and say it's two different guys, but if I put on the same uniform with the same guy, with two different guys, you may say, hey, he looks like the same guy. It's not the same person. Once again, we're doing this in fun, but at the same time,
Mhm.
there's nobody in the group, so we're not targeting anybody. But we're just seeing this on social media. It's like, this is a conversation we need to have, right? Conversation we need to have about cultural differences and recognizing people and just giving their just due to say, hey, you look different. You're a different person than this person, and just giving them their credit and not being disrespectful. That's all we're talking about here. All right,
That's all.
that's all you got. I'm gonna jump to these comments real quick. Uh, bro really did look like Neil Smith Jr. that one shot. It's always somebody. Mike Stallings, boy, you full of shit. All right, he had the hair and the headband was going just like Nick. Shit, sometimes the shit works, sometimes it don't work. This is why we do it, though. This is why we do it. He had the twist and the headband on like Nick Smith Jr. and the camera angle when it turned to him. He did look like Nick. Why I tell you, y'all ain't shit. Y'all ain't shit. But hey,
The
we
last
we
one,
we.
neither one of them played defense.
Now there you go. Whoever that Facebook user is, I give you credit for that one. It's absolutely correct assessment. That's what's up, man. We run into the 1 hour mark, man. All right, before we shut it down, you got anything, my man?
No, I think I pretty much spilled most of it earlier. I might have some this weekend. We'll see what comes up.
Okay. We do got a basketball game coming up Friday. We play with the
Where
Gardner-Webb.
can you watch it?
Where?
You
How do?
can watch that on. That's on
Food
SEC Network.
Food Network.
The Food Network. Gotcha. Copy
No,
that.
ESPN app.
But what if I don't
How
have
do
the
I download
ESPN app?
that?
Yeah. How does that work?
Go to your app store.
All these
What's
tiki
that?
takis and
Is that by
technology. I don't.
Walmart?
Yes.
Yeah.
Does that
Okay.
cost? Does it cost me anything to watch the game?
If you already have a provider, no.
Okay.
But also, this game is on Etsy or ESPN Plus.
Okay.
So,
Mm-hmm.
like, I have ESPN Plus through my Hulu package. So, if you've got, you can look at your Hulu and however you watch Hulu. I mean, you could add on the ESPN package or ESPN Plus package and then watch those games through your Hulu account. So, there's another way. Or you could tune up your radio to your local ESPN station and listen to Chuck Barrett.
Like my grandpappy used to do back in the day.
Mm-hmm.
Well, you got
So,
anything, Matt?
Yeah, but I forgot what the hell it was. So,
You can stay off them drugs.
yeah.
But look, before we tap out of here, and if you think of anything, tap in. But we make fun. Like two things we make fun of consistently is how can I watch and the game thread comments every week. Like we have a group text amongst the mods and the admins, and we got a text message group, and we talk about this every week. Like this dude right here is just going off in these comments and this, we're gonna delete it. We're gonna decline the comment because all you gotta do is jump in the game thread, brother, and you can get all the action and response that you're looking for if you just jump in the game thread and respond. And then every week, Adam goes out of his way to make graphics and all this cute shit to say this is how you watch the game. This is what time it's on. It's in the features section, and we make fun about that. Where's the feature section? Every time I click on here, I see so we make fun of this every week. It's hilarious because some people are learning from it, and even though we're making fun of it, it get better. But sometimes just these comments of people still thinking like, I can't figure out how to watch. What time is the game on? Who's playing? Is Nola Richardson going to be coaching? Like it's all type of shit we get that's hilarious. Okay, I'm saying I didn't mean any disrespect. I know they're different dudes. It just made me do a double take. Copy that. No harm, no foul, brother or sister. You say
it's Mike
Facebook user.
Stallings. It's
It's Mike
Stallings.
Stallings.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, anyway, man, that's all I got for tonight. Once again, you got anything before we wrap it up?
I'm good.
I got one. We got a YouTube channel. If you want to catch this after the fact, you struggling to find it through all the posts and even the featured posts, go to the YouTube channel, Hog HQ. You can find all of our live streams stored there. Quick reference.
And
don't forget
Instagram
our
page.
just about to say Instagram. Don't forget that as well.
I'll even throw up our link tree to make it easy to where you can just click a link and go.
That sounds great.
Trying to make it easy, man. Look, it's been a great conversation on Tuesday night, guys. We recapped the Florida. We went into the Auburn game as far as football is concerned, looking into bowl eligibility, see if we can chance to see Larry with Coach Pitt. We jumped into basketball. We jumped into, oh, he looks like him. I thought they were the same guy. We had a great time. Hey, we dropped some sponsors, man. Once again, guys, we do this for fun. We enjoy doing this. We enjoy you guys' interactions with us. So once again, please feel free to join us. Keep posted. Next week we're gonna do a tag a friend. I want to do tag a friend next week. So get somebody in mind now that you're gonna say I'm gonna tag somebody when this come on because you know we're gonna go live. We're gonna do tag a friend and see how many views we can get, how many people we can get in here to do some comments, do some interactions next week.
And if you're watching a replay later or record the recording of it, still comment because we read the comments on it, and
Absolutely.
we'll either address them then or even on the next show, whatever it may be. We still respond to the comments even when the show's over. If you're just coming in late, backtrack about 30, 35 minutes for some hog news if that's what you were looking for, because it's buried in there, but you got to go find it.
That's what's up. That's
All
what's
right.
up.
You guys have a good night.
Have a great one. Daylight savings time.